It is Tuesday, the 14th day in the month of March 2023, and I'm delighted to welcome you to Newspaper Review on High Impact 102.1 FM. I am Sarah Owusu-Ansah. I trust you had a restful night. You know, I woke up this morning with so much glee and excitement because there's Esther didn't even allow me laugh. She's already laughing. But then I have Esther here with me in the studio this morning. Good morning, Esther.
Good morning, Sarah. You're looking great.
Thank you. You look amazing yourself.
Thank you. So why the glee and excitement?
Well, let's just say that things are about to get better.
Okay.
And the economic hardship, the financial hardship, the cash crunch that Nigerians have been facing for months now, it's about to get better. Why? Because the Central Bank of Nigeria has finally obeyed the Supreme Court order, according to reports that we have, and that this means that the old 200, 500, and 1,000 naira note still remains a legal tender till the 31st of December 2023. Remember that the Supreme Court gave this ruling on the 3rd of March. And this was after the presidential elections, and there was so much uncertainty because people had not heard from the Central Bank of Nigeria, they had not heard from the presidency, so they were not sure if they should stick to the order by the Supreme Court. But then the president came out to say in one of the statements that the Central Bank of Nigeria had no reason not to comply with the Supreme Court judgment, and amongst the number of things, because the situation actually wasn't getting better. So yes, I woke up and actually we got the update yesterday, but more details came up in the middle of the night. It was this morning, and I'm excited.
Well, my guest and I yesterday, these were some of the things we spoke about. I just don't want to be a killjoy. If not, I would say that according to the details and the analysis he gave us yesterday, the order was not directed to the Supreme Court or to the CBN or to the president. They just declared that it is legal tender, that it was just wise for the CBN to come out and and give a backing because of the society we live in. If not, in a very normal, perfect society, when the Supreme Court said it was legal tender, it was legal tender.
Exactly.
It was just that we wanted to get an assurance. But do you know that last night, someone still argued with me that money will not be accepted in the market today? And I said I will come throw it out on radio this morning. I will throw that question. Do you mean that this morning, if you're given the old 500 naira notes, you will not collect it?
I think at this time, people need to actually be up to date.
Let them tell us.
Let us know if you're given with this directive and with this update, which says that the old 500 and 1,000 naira note still remains legal tender till the 31st of December 2023. Let us know your thought on this. Let us know, like Esther said, someone mentioned yesterday that it would not be accepted. Is that your stance as well? Do well to call us, join the conversation. 0700-1021-1021 is the number to call. Send a WhatsApp message 0907-224-5018. We're streaming live on Twitter at High Impact 1021 FM and on YouTube at High Impact 102.1 FM.
Yes, indeed. You can let us know your take. What we do here on the newspaper review is pretty simple. We look at the national dailies, top national dailies, and then we give you the headlines from these dailies, and you can let us know your top story for today. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll get into the papers for today. Get your questions coming in as well, and also get ready to let us know in your area if you've been, in fact it's 7:10, you may have had opportunity to make a transaction with physical cash this morning. How did it go?
But then the update just came in yesterday, and I'm pretty sure a number of people do not even have the old notes.
Last week I felt like just withdrawing because my bank offered to give me old notes, but that's, you see, the thing about banks offering and not accepting, that's another topic for another day, because I feel like it should be deeply investigated. But let's move away from that. So my bank offered old notes last Friday. I was desperate. I was so desperate. I was going to just accept maybe as small as 3,000 naira and just hold it just in case. just if there is need for me to spend it. So somehow in my heart I felt like I should have gone ahead to just collect that note. So some people collected these notes and they have it with them as we speak. They do. So let us know if you're going to accept it as a business person, if you've been able to exchange, do transactions with that note today. Also let us know when you call us. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll get into the papers. Do stay with us.
Join us Mondays to Fridays at 7:05 a.m. to 8 a.m. for freshly baked stories on the newspaper review at High Impact 102.1 FM. Follow us on social media at High Impact 102.1 FM or call 0700 1021 1021. You can also send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, we started at 7:05 a.m. and the papers will be taking the Punch newspapers, the Guardian, the Vanguard, and the Daily Trust newspapers. And all newspapers this morning are giving us that headline, the one that you and I want to hear. But I don't know. Some people still feel that we should stick to things the way it is. But
if you remember, on the 16th of February, when the president Muhammadu Buhari addressed Nigerians, and he mentioned that the old 200 naira needs to remain legal tender.
Yeah.
Almost immediately,
yes,
people started to accept it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a problem. I think Nigerians just want to hear that. They just want to get exactly that confirmation, which they've gotten now. So my concern is the old notes now circulating, because a number of people they don't have access to it anymore. They've gone to deposit it in their banks. Now, is it going to be easier? Do the banks have so much access to it now? Do we have enough? So we're going to be using both the old and the new notes simultaneously. So what's there should be a provision for availability, so that people that come into the banks to withdraw can withdraw money that they need.
Well, I also have some questions. Have the central bank destroyed the old notes that have been given to them, that have been deposited already? Because I don't think they have. Okay, I don't know. I don't have the answers. Let me not say that. But I was shocked when the Supreme Court ordered that the old 1,000 naira, 500 naira old notes remain legal tender. It became available in banks. So I don't see it. I don't even see that. I don't expect that to happen. What I feel should happen is understand how banks still had it after March 3rd.
Well,
how they still had it after March 3rd. So if there's still a scarcity of old 1,000 naira and 500 naira notes, maybe by tomorrow we would know. We'll find out, because maybe by today we can look around the queues and see how it is. But I don't expect it to be as intense as the new notes.
And then I don't expect that. Moving on, at least for the rest of the week, I want to see a decline in the number of people that are struggling to get into banks, the hustle and the bustle. And then I want to also see POS operators.
Oh, look, Sarah, just calm down, okay?
I want to see POS operators.
We are almost there, okay? I just don't want to get petty, but hello, good morning. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling us from?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Please call us back, okay? We really want to know how people reacted to this.
Yes,
I don't know if it's good news or bad news for some people. So about the POS, Sarah, let's take it one step at a time.
You don't understand.
Let's take it.
These people have
they are genuine POS operators.
Actually,
they are, and these are people's businesses. This is what some people still use to feed their families. I just need to understand how their minds worked for that period of time when there was a cash crunch. It felt like there was a shift in their mind. So, but let's all just listen. I know some people who say they will never ever get cash from POS agents again when all of this is over. But You can let us know your take. 070010211021. You can send us a WhatsApp message 0907-224-5018. Yes. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Sarah, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Good morning. Mrs. Adolphus, coming from Montijo.
All right, Mrs. Adolphus, go ahead.
Okay, I want to talk about the CBN approving the use of the old naira. I think it's a welcome development. In fact, they should have done that long time ago because Nigerians have really suffered. Even me myself, as a salary earner, maybe for example, someone that is earning 20,000 at the end of the month, he wants to collect it. You just be having it at the back of your mind that you are going on with 15,000. It's terrible. The POS operators are not helping at all. Some of them are just using this opportunity to insult Nigerians. It's not fair. I have someone that is very close to me. She's doing POS. She told me, I was even the way she was buying the new currency, 1,000 naira. She bought it at the rate of 120, and she's selling it out at the rate of 200. Is that one not still okay? So some people will be charging you 400 naira for 1,000 naira. Are we not in this country together? Are they not seeing what is going on? In fact, it's very big because most people now, business owners now, they've gotten their POS machine. I think now their eyes will be clear. I will see where they will be getting their customers from. Because like someone like me, someone that has been insulting me, I can never go back to the person now that everything is beginning to return back to normal. It's not fair. They should be considered. They are also Nigerians. We are in this together.
Thank you for your thoughts,
Thank
Mr.
you so
Adolphus.
much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
And you too. You know, she said something that the POS operator she knows buys 1,000 naira at 120 naira, which you know we had this conversation at a point where the operators kept saying that they also buy the naira, but now this is someone coming out to state how much exactly, and she sells it for 200 naira on 1,000 naira. So with all of this, I want to see how things begin to fall into place.
But for those that didn't buy, how much did they sell it?
Well,
Sarah, there are POS operators that went to the banks. They queued up. They collected cash. My own bank was giving 20,000 naira at the ATM, 10,000 naira inside the banking hall. Those people that are able to get 30,000 naira a day, how did they see this? Let's not. I'm not angry. Okay, I'm not pissed off.
Don't be.
But let us all understand that right now you're going to see new characters, you see people become loyal to those who were there when they needed their help. You'll see that.
Absolutely.
So when she said we're in this together, that was what struck my heart. We're in this together. Let's not act like there's a different rule for POS operators and a different Nigeria for me, but let me leave POS operators alone this morning. Let's move to the papers. I'll start with the Guardian newspaper this morning. The main story, Naira redesign policy. Buhari absolves self as CBN finally obeys Supreme Court order. That's how the Guardian puts it this morning. And the writer, CBN has no reason not to obey Supreme Court on Naira redesign policy. CBN releases cash to banks as rationing intensifies. I like that rider. Obeys Supreme Court's judgment. NBA urges FG CBN, that's federal government and CBN. Middle Belt Forum, Kogi urge action on Supreme Court ruling. Above that, Africa's energy crisis raises fresh health and environmental concerns. 10th Assembly leadership, I have no preferred candidates, says Tinubu. CBN debunks reports of Emefiele plotting against Tinubu. This the news these days. Borno and Yobe risk acute food shortage, World Bank alerts. Yeah, that as well. We'll get into that. Rose Vival remains LP candidate. Party's legal team clarifies. I don't know why they had to clarify that, but
there was some sort of internal
conflict.
Yes, conflict. So this clarification was pretty necessary, I must say.
Okay. Election materials. We have nothing to hide. INEC chair tells LP legal team, and that's the last on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. You can let us know your top story for today. 0700-1021-1021. You can send us a WhatsApp message 0907-224-5018. We're live on YouTube at High Impact 102.1, and then we are live on Twitter at High Impact 1021. You can also send your comments. You can leave your messages in the comments section.
Right. That's it on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Let's take a look at the Punch newspaper. It also has the major caption about the Naira redesign policy. Emefiele finally bows to pressure, says old Naira notes legal tender. The writer says CBN directs banks to accept and disburse old 1,500, 200 Naira and redesigned bank notes. Disobeying court order undermines rule of law, constitution and democracy. That's from the NBA president. AGF, CBN governor don't need Buhari's directive to obey Supreme Court, says presidency. All of these details you find on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Just above that, federal government probes theft in $1.1 billion oil well. That's a page 19 read. Nigerians to pay 1,000 Naira NIN fee for passports.
That's another major one.
Nigerians to pay 1,000 Naira NIN fee for passport. I would like us to get into the story so that we understand the reason for this development.
Okay.
Federal government shuts Lagos airport runway, diverts international flights. You get details on page 20. Moving on, I wasn't part of search for kidney donor. That's coming from Ikwere Madu's wife. We still have Ikwere Madu and his wife in the news in regards to the organ transplants conversation that has been going on for months now. But you get details of that story on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. And lastly, on the front page, Tinubu has no preferred candidates for National Assembly leadership. That's coming from Vice President-elect Shettima. Get details of that story on page 8 of the Punch newspaper.
Zero 700-1021-1021. Let us know, have you been able to spend the old 1,000 Naira and old 500 Naira notes today? Are you willing to accept it? In fact, are you willing? CBN says we should. It's legal tender. But let's know. Do you have any reservations? Did anyone reject it around you? Let us know, and let us know where you're calling us from as well. Let's move to the Vanguard newspaper very, very quickly. The first story says, Naira, CBN has no reason to disobey court order. That's the first story on the Vanguard newspaper. CBN has no reason to disobey court order. And next says CBN orders banks to accept old 200 Naira, 500 Naira, 1,000 Naira bank notes. Away from that, vehicle kills politicians, 2 children injures another in Lagos.
Very sad one.
That is a very, very sad story. Cash crunch. E-payment platforms record mixed performance. Well, this is also a test of e-payment platforms to show how good they've been. Nigeria not in support of cannabis legislation for non-medical use. That's according to NAFDAC. Nigeria not in support of cannabis legislation for non-medical use. We also have something about children. Commence treatment for wasted, stunted children. Nutritionist task Lagos State government. Let's see how much more we can take before. Yep. Okay, I think that there are some stories here that the first story I took already dealt with. That's Naira swap. Buhari didn't ask Malami and Emefiele to disobey Supreme Court order. That's from the presidency. But that's as much as we can take on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
My name is Lawal. This is Lawal calling from Agbe.
Okay, go on, Lawal.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me congratulate Kevin and the victory, the issue of cash. In fact, the last week, we saw a lot of stress and confusion concerning cash. But today, we are back, and you see that our leaders, they don't have a good heart. People are going through a lot, a lot. Businesses are closing down, and they were adamant on imposing this policy on the people. This policy is failure on arrival. The policy has no direction as far as I'm concerned. In my opinion, what do you want to achieve within 2-3 months? You have been here for over 7 years. You never thought of bringing up this policy. Now it was just 3 months to your house viewing. You said we must by force go into this policy. Today, people are suffering. Businesses are closing down. The POS are doing Nigerians anyhow. People are stretching on a daily basis. People have lost their lives based on this policy. But the government were adamant on imposing this policy on the people. When you make policy, I think it should be for the benefit of the people, not for the benefit of the government.
Thank
because
you.
The people should come forth in democracy.
Thank you for your opinions.
Thank you, Lawal.
Thank you,
So
Lawal.
on the issue of the fact of the old note that has been withdrawn from the public, I feel that government should investigate. You need to know where those monies are, because as of now.
All right, do well to share your thoughts, and please note that you have 60 seconds to share your thoughts with us when you call us. 070010211021 is the number to call. Send a WhatsApp message to 0907-224-5018. Let's quickly take a look at the the Daily Trust newspaper before we go on a break. The Daily Trust newspaper says, old Naira notes legal tender again, says Central Bank of Nigeria. The writer said, you have no reason not to comply with Supreme Court judgment, says Buhari. Banks struggle to meet customers' needs. Pensioners decry Naira scarcity, says they are in pain. It is good news coming from traders and POS operators. You get details on page 19. I hope POS operators will maintain this energy by the time they do not get the amount of profit they were getting during the cash crunch.
Hope.
But away from that story, fire destroys 100 shops and stores in Kano Singa Market. We can see a picture of the incident yesterday. Shops were razed down, and it is a very, very...
There's been quite a number of incidents in markets lately.
Yes, and then there's been incidents with regards to tankers falling as well.
Yeah.
Last week, it was like almost every day we were getting reports of tankers falling different parts of the country, and it's something that, I believe a measure should be put in place to address these situations. But then we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name? Very well, thank you.
My name is Kenny.
Kenny, where are you calling us from?
Yeah, calling from Ogijo.
All right, Kenny from Ogijo, please go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
Sincerely, the Naira redesign, to me, that is my own opinion, it has another hidden agenda against what they are preaching. Because money, many souls have been wasted, many businesses has collapsed. For reviving this place back, I go to take another day. God will forgive them. Thank you, ma.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us this morning. 070010211021 is the number to call. Send a WhatsApp message to 0907-224-5018. I was on the Daily Trust newspaper earlier. A National Assembly leadership have not endorsed anyone, says President-elect Tinubu. We have nothing to hide, INEC chair tells Obi's lawyers. Away from that story, Tinubu's election rejection of religious hatred and sectarian politics coming from the presidency. Still on the Daily Trust, Nigerians to pay 1,000 Naira fee for NIN integration and verification. ISDB LLF donates 100 million Naira storage facility to milk marketers in Kano State. And lastly, on the front page of the Daily Trust, violence, 7 states to watch ahead. 7 states to watch ahead of governorship polls. And the writer says, why we are afraid, says residents, and how to avert crisis, experts and CSOs. Details on page 4. 7 states to watch ahead of governorship polls. We'll get into the details so that we understand these yes, and we know these states. But those are the headlines on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. We're due for a break. When we are back, we'll be with our guests to discuss these headlines and other stories. To stay tuned.
Join us Mondays to Fridays at 7:05 a.m. to 8 a.m. for freshly baked stories on the newspaper review at High Impact 102.1 FM. Follow us on social media at High Impact 102.1 FM or call 0700 1021 1021. You can also send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
The business terrain can be tough, challenging, and murky. You need to be armed with superior intelligence, resilience, and knowledge to be able to triumph. Do you desire to thrive in business and become a reference point? Then join us every Monday on High Impact Radio 102.1 FM for TLIG, the Land is Green Business Show. Showtime is on Monday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mopolu Shade, Shonaike, and Kehinde Ajose are your hosts. It promises to be educated, empowering, and thought-provoking.
Here are some guidelines to follow when voting on election day. Step 1. Upon arrival at the polling unit, an INEC official will determine whether you are at the correct polling unit by checking the details on your permanent voter's card, PVC.
Step 2. The official will use a smart card reader to confirm that your card and details are genuine. He or she will ask you to place your finger on the card reader, which contains the name, photograph, and fingerprints of those that are registered in that polling unit.
Step 3. You will then meet the next official who would request for your PVC to confirm that your name and details are in the voters register. Your name will be ticked and your PVC returned to you. He or she will then apply indelible ink to the cortical of your appropriate finger for that election to show that you have been accredited to vote.
Step 4. The presiding officer stamps, signs, and endorses the date at the back of the ballot paper. The presiding officer will roll the ballot paper inwardly with the printed side inwards and give it to you. He or she will then direct you to the voting cubicle where you vote in secret.
Step 5. You will place your appropriate finger for the election with the ink provided. Then use your finger to mark the space or box provided on the ballot paper for your preferred candidate. Then roll the marked ballot paper in the manner the presiding officer gave to you.
Step 6. Leave the voting cubicle and drop the ballot paper in the ballot box in full view of people at the polling unit.
Step 7. You will then leave the polling unit or wait if you so choose in an orderly and peaceful manner to walk the process up to declaration of result.
Ensure to follow these steps to have a smooth, free voting process.
This message is brought to you by High Impact 102.1 FM.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. You're still listening to Newspaper Review on High Impact 102.1 FM, and we have our guest in person of Dr. Adedayo Kayode, who joins us via phone call this morning. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Kayode.
Yes, good morning. It's my pleasure being with you.
Right. Very quickly, let's jump into what we have this morning. The Central Bank of Nigeria finally have obeyed the Supreme Court order. We got this update yesterday, and the presidency has clarified that President Muhammadu Buhari did not direct the Attorney General of the Federation as well as the Governor of the Central Bank not to obey the Apex Court ruling on the Naira design. And with all of this, the CBN have come out to state that the old 500 Naira and 1,000 Naira notes still remains a legal tender till the 31st of December 2023. How do you react to this?
Yes, it's a good thing that Central Bank has now realized that people are really suffering because of these new Naira notes. You know, number one, when you are trying to do this, you must ensure that all the logistics are in place to ensure that these new Naira notes get to all the nooks and crannies of the country. Health, the economic situation in any area that you don't find these new Naira notes will definitely nosedive. All right, and that is exactly what we have seen in the whole country. That to the extent that a particular analyst, economic analyst, was saying that Nigeria lost about 20 trillion during this problem. But it's a good thing now that Central Bank has said yes, it remains a legal tender till 31st of December. And that is exactly what somebody like me have been saying. That when you are doing this kind of a thing, you should give it some time for Nigerians to have access to it. In other climes, they don't execute it for less than 18 months. UK spent about 2 years. The same thing in America. Why is Nigeria now spending about 3 months? Why? But then it's a good thing that we are going to have a sigh of relief, I think, as from today.
Right. So just as we're heaving a sigh of relief, and we expect that the cash flow gets better, people get access to these monies, let's talk about the governorship elections that is coming up on Saturday, the 18th of March. We have talked about this cash crunch and redesign of the new Naira as one of the means to curb vote buying. Now that the old Naira note has become a legal tender, what should we expect to come to play come March 18th in that regard, if in terms of vote buying, curbing vote buying, amongst a number of things?
Yes, you see, I for one, I don't like brooding on the past. Even though our yesterday and today put together determines what happens to us tomorrow. That is, lessons must be learned. We have seen so many things during the last election happening. Nigerians were caught pants down. We were caught unawares. And I think some lessons have been learned. So this Saturday, I'm hoping that everybody, in terms of political parties and voters, will be on the guard. They will be on the guard. Not minding, I'm not saying there won't be vote buying. More so that even today is just Tuesday, and they just yesterday Central Bank has now said both old 500 naira notes, 1,000 naira notes, 200 naira notes are now become a legal tender till 31st December. That means all the money all the old naira notes that are being kept in the house will be brought out. No doubt about that. But at the same time, because of the infractions that were experienced during the last election, everybody will now be on the guard. Secondly, I am not seeing a situation whereby we are going to experience vote apathy, though. I'm not envisaging that. Even though the number of voters we had during the Upper Saturday's election wasn't encouraging. Put all the votes together. They're not more than 22 million to 23 million. Coupled with the fact that a lot of people registered and collected their voters' cards. So I'm seeing a situation whereby, yes, close to that number again, we still vote where governorship elections are taking place. Because so there are some states that you're going to be having governorship elections other than House of Assembly elections.
Yeah.
But then I will also advise that people should escape from violence. People should escape from disallowing people to vote their choice. Because Nigeria now needs more than ever a transparent democracy so that our nation can move forward. We have been on this spot for too long, and it is high time for us to move forward.
Dr. Adeda, I just want to find out, aside vote buying, the CBN mentioned other reasons why, they feel there is need for a new Naira redesign, illicit flow of cash. And I mean, I know there are things that they really wanted to do based on the reasons they gave us. Do you think that these other reasons were achieved, the illicit flow of cash, being able to trace how money flows in our system, having money back into the bank and not outside the banks? Do you think that...
You see, if you follow some of my fears, my submissions, my perspectives during that period, on two different areas, I went against CBN. Number one, CBN was saying you were having much money in circulation instead of the vaults of the banks. And I posited that, listen, are we supposed to have our monies in the bank or to be circulating within the economy? And I gave an analogy. Airplanes are made to be flying. So are you now saying you want to be keeping them on the ground so that you can be seeing them rather than flying? No. You have to keep them in the skies. That is when you will enjoy the economies of scale of production of that particular product, of the airplanes now. So when you are keeping money in the banks, in the vaults of the banks, tell me, of what use? It will just be there. Unlike when these monies are out, here and there, moving up here and there for trades and commerce, then you'll be seeing these monies growing. You see them growing. Again, with what he has done now, of what importance has it been to our economy in the last few weeks that this thing has been on? To the extent that people are not even having money to purchase dollars. Go and look at the value of dollars today. Is it not supposed to even come down? It still remains as such. So that means that policy, rather than being a success, had been a woeful failure.
Dr. Adedayo Kayode, shouldn't we give it some more time to see how the cash flow is before we can come to a conclusion that it's a failure? It's barely 3 months. It's not even up to 3 months since, we started to use...
Listen, that's a Yoruba adage that says, Biro leshe mari uguro lo ti mo. Or in another way, oju to ba ma ba ni kare ki itaro shepin.
So what does that mean in English?
I don't know how to interpret that.
you have to help us interpret it.
Do you understand? What I'm saying in essence is this. The way a journey will be, you will have known from the onset. Now, this thing had collapsed economic activities of the people. I was with some youths yesterday, and they were thinking of how they can get some people to unleash them on the streets and paralyze everything, and then distort the election, distort the economic activities because of this Naira crunch. Why? Because they are hungry. No cash. No cash.
Dr. Kayode, but in another view, yes, can we say that this particular policy so far has brought out the technological side of most vendors? Because you would see that these days, even people that could not transact online now have POS machines and things. Besides the network glitch that we experience, people have become more tech savvy in carrying out transactions. Wouldn't we say that this particular development has made us know that we can actually go this route without having so much cash in circulation and still be able to, you know, transact businesses, even down to small scale businesses, down to the person that sells pepper on the road. He now has a POS machine. You know, the woman that sells bread now has a POS machine. Even some public transport riders have POS machines now. Isn't that something that
even churches are now taking offerings with POS? Is it? You see, much as I want to agree with your assertions, the hardship this thing had brought on the people had overtaken these perspectives of yours.
Dr. Kayode, I would like to ask you, when you say, let me interrupt you here, Dr. Kayode. Dr. Kayode, I want to clarify something.
POS. Okay?
Dr. Kayode, let me clarify something. Now, is it the Naira redesign that has created the hardship or the unavailability of this cash? Because there are two different things right now.
Yeah. It is not Naira design. But what happened was because of Naira redesigning. Because if you had not redesigned the Naira, the old Naira that we were spending had been in circulation. But because of the redesigning of the Naira, you did not put in proper logistics to make it circulate. The thing now brought in hardship. So it's a kind of a chain effect. A chain effect on the people. Are you with me? So what I'm now saying is, yes, Naira redesign. Why not? Why not? But my own pain is, why should it now bring in so much hardship on the people that even a lot of people cannot go out? For instance, one of my neighbors had been indoors for over 1 week to 2 weeks. Why? Because no money to go out, no money to pay transport, and like that it has happened to a lot of people. People became beggars. They started begging. If not because I'm just being gracious with where I normally buy fuel, and then one of the malams that is within my neighborhood, that is my very good friend, I buy things from him. Where will I have been getting little Naira that I've been spending? I mean, these are the issues.
But Dr. Kayode, before we let you go,
with the declaration of CBN yesterday, the whole problem will be eased out as soon as immediately.
Yeah, that's exactly where I want to go to, about the problem easing out. Someone still told me this morning that the chances are slim that the chances that market women will collect this money still feels slim, because the president has not come out to make the same declaration he made when he said we should spend the old 200 Naira notes.
Exactly, Esther, because just as we're on this call, I got a message from Bridget, and Bridget is saying that the problem is, how do we tell these sellers? Because some are saying Buhari must talk. They don't. She said she doesn't know when Buhari became the head of the CBN, and they need to let the market women know that the Supreme Court has stated, and the CBN has also followed through. So just to buttress what Esther said, because the message just came into my phone right now.
All the CBN need do is to go on series of enlightenment by telling the people, hey, look, we have started accepting this money. By the time traders and all that started taking all these old Naira notes to the banks, and they are collecting it from them, and they are issuing it out, everything will ease out, no doubt about that. But both the government and the CBN need to come out plainly and do a lot of enlightenment for the people, so that they can start accepting it.
So enlightenment and sensitization is the way to go right now.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what we now need to do.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you
so much for your
Dr.
time.
Adedayo Kayode.
Again, like what your station is doing now is part of the enlightenment and sensitization. Because a lot of people will have been listening to our discussions this morning, and they will have heard what the central bank had said, and they will have heard some of the points that you and I have raised. To that extent, we are sensitizing them at the same time enlightening them.
Right. Insightful one, I must say. Dr. Adedayo Kayode, thank you so much for joining us on the review this morning and for sharing your thoughts with us.
It's my pleasure. I wish you a very pleasant day ahead.
And you too. Bye-bye.
Before we go, Dr. Adedayo Kayode has given us his thoughts, and as much as he has said his opinions, there are still some people who believe that the new Naira redesign policy was a good idea. The implementation was terrible. There are people who still stick to that. For Nigerians, I'll just say, please listen to what our first caller said. We are in this together.
Right.
Yes.
You know, Bridget is still sending me messages, and Bridget is reaching us from Lagos, and she said, you know, earlier she sent a message that how do they tell sellers, because the sellers are saying Buhari must talk, and now she's saying some sellers go as far as selling product without giving change.
Yes.
So if you bring 1,000 naira to buy something of 300 or anything, don't expect change.
That's another
especially
thing.
Drivers too.
That is another part of this conversation that needs to be addressed, because as I speak, I heard that if you pay 500 naira for a 200 naira service, they would not return
But
change.
that's a sort of that's an extortion.
That was last week. So let's see what the excuse will be this week, because I don't want us to now hear conductor and passenger fights. You know, those kind of headlines where you see conductor stabs passenger or things like that on the road, or
the way that Nigerians have extorted Nigerians this period, you would begin to ask yourself, are you sure that we are still in the same country together? Because I don't understand how I'll bring a 500 naira note to you to buy a product of 200 naira. Okay, even if you want to charge me, you're not charging me 100 naira, you're taking the whole 300 naira chain. That is way overboard. Let us call a spade. People that are doing that are taking too much advantage of this situation, because you cannot tell me that you do not have the change at all. It is not possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sarah has spoken. Go on.
Sincerely, because I know for sure that when there are times I go to buy something and they'll tell you if you are doing a transfer, you're sending the exact amount. But if you're paying with your card, they are going to charge you like 100 naira or 150 naira, because that's the way they do it. Okay, but then if I come to your store to buy something of 200 naira and I come with 500 naira cash, and I know that you have been collecting cash, the fact that you are even collecting cash is something, and you tell me that because of the cash crunch you're not giving me my 300 naira chain, no, we'll have to, something has to go down.
Okay, please guys, don't do that when you see Sarah. She has made,
because
okay, but don't do that.
No,
Really,
it's wrong. That is
wrong.
absolutely, you need to tell me why you are taking my change.
It's wrong.
Sincerely, you need to be able to defend the fact that, okay, this is why I'm not giving you your change. Tell me why. Is it that you don't have the change? You're not even saying, okay, maybe get something else, or let me give you
buy. In fact, I heard someone who said, you know what, you are paying 1,000 naira old notes, you are buying food, right, 500 naira, don't come back for, I will not give you the change tomorrow. Use the same the change to buy food again.
Okay, you're not even telling me that, you're just telling me that you can't give me change. Why?
But it's in our nature. Not like it's in our nature. I have observed that Nigerians take advantage of scarcities.
That's what
Fuel
I'm
scarcity,
saying.
they had that issue too. You hear keg money.
That's what I'm saying.
I never understood what that
Even
thing meant.
when there was no fuel scarcity, since my life that I've been going to buy fuel, we always pay for keg.
I never knew.
So, for instance, if you want to buy fuel of 1,000 naira, you pay keg money of 100 naira.
I mean, Sarah, it was new to me. It is I'd never heard it.
It has always been something that I'm used to. So if I want to get fuel, I'm already calculating
I can't get used to it.
Fuel, keg money, they will charge for keg.
Like, what is the service you're rendering? I think we can go on and on until this day. Until our time is up on us today.
That's why I said we Nigerians, we are the ones that are, once something comes up, we look for every possible means to take advantage of our neighbor. I understand that these people that have access to these things probably also struggle to get it, but now taking absolute advantage and going overboard is where there's a problem.
Going overboard on someone who is also struggling like
you. Do you understand? So if the tables were turned, would you be able to deal with it? I'll leave you with that rhetorical question. Go and answer it.
Yes, please go and answer it. Before we go, there's a headline on the Punch newspaper. Father rapes 18-year-old daughter in shop, and it was painful, but the court has already remanded this 36-year-old man in Kirikiri for doing this. It's painful that this happened, and I really hope that people learn their lessons, because it is your daughter, and even if it's not your daughter, you should not rape anyone. But our time is up on the newspaper review this morning. We'll be back tomorrow. You can send your messages to 0907-224-5018 how you have been able to spend the money, because the day just started. So let us know if people are accepting it, where you are spending it, and let us know your location right on that number. My name is Esther Kalu. Till I see you next time, do stay safe.
And I am Sarah also. And so remember to follow us across our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM and News Around the Globe _. Remember to stay safe. Bye-bye.
Join us Mondays to Fridays at 7:05 a.m. to